The Skarloey Railway would just not be the same without one of their resident troublemakers, Sir Handel. Sometimes he stirs the pot on purpose, other times trouble just finds him, and find him it has, because his Bachmann model has spent an enormous amount of time trying to reach shops. Hit by a myriad of hiccups, his absence has only grown in prominence, much like when he vanished between series 4 and 10 in the TV show. But now the Blue Boy has finally broken cover, and landed just before Christmas. The samples showed a lot of promise, but has Bachmann delivered on the 4th core member of the Skarloey steam fleet? Or is Sir Handel bringing trouble home with him? He cost me £124.05 from Rails of Sheffield, so I sure hope not. The Skarloey Railway's number 3 engine came in the newer design of Bachmann Thomas narrow gauge box, and has product code 58606. Taking him out of the blister insert, and we're treated to a wonderfully tooled, die-cast take on the character. I can already see rivets abound and more separately fitted parts than on previous narrow gauge releases. Bachmann's run of executing perfect renditions of the engine's faces continues, with Sir Handel looking exactly like his CGI counterpart. The finish is still a tad too glossy for my liking, but that's all there really is to complain about. His front buffer beam comes with a pre-fitted separate brake pipe, something he never had in the show. A coupling hook is tucked away above the larger 009 coupler, but oddly his CGI era lamp irons are missing. These weren't a feature on his TV series model, so I'm not too fussed. While the handrails are simple moulds, as usual with Bachmann Thomas engines, I am pleased to see that all the boiler detail is separately fitted, shaped and painted. The lining of the saddle tanks, pistons and cab side look fantastic, as do the nameplate and number plate prints. They are unequivocally Sir Handel's. Unlike Skarloey and Talaclin, we are also treated to open front cab windows. Now, I'm going to sound mildly hypocritical, but on Sir Handel, I wouldn't have minded them being blacked out again, as they were like this on his TV series model. Even his CGI model had dark glazing that almost looked blacked out on occasion. I guess it's better to have them open though, and fill them in if desired, rather than try and open them up. One disappointing thing that hasn't changed is the plastic components used for the crosshead and piston rod. While they are at least painted, they are still obviously made of plastic and comprise a weak link in the mechanism. I suspect this is going to carry over into Sir Handel, who will just be a straight repaint of this with a smokebox door in place of the face. Beneath the cab, we have Sir Handel's famous steamroller wheels, looking every bit as chunky as they did in the TV show. This, though, brings me to my next lingering criticism. The cab is still lackluster, with no control details. Given this is designed to be Sir Handel as much as Sir Handel, I hoped the feedback about the Bachmann Talaclin would have been taken on board. Nope, we have another blank interior again, one that is actually more difficult to retrofit 4D's cab detail pack to compared to Talaclin as well. It's a step backwards if anything. And the powered bogie axle again means that there is a box cutting up and across on the cab floor. It may not be too noticeable if flanked by figures, but it makes detailing the cab much more difficult than it ought to be. The rear of the cab, at least, is well shaped and detailed with the overhang, support brackets, and a lamp. A non-working lamp though. Underneath, there's nothing much to speak of, just a screwed base plate and NEM 355 pockets mounted for the couplings. On the scales, Sir Handel comes in at 42 grams, which is a third less than the Bachmann Talaclin. That is far more of a difference than I was expecting, considering Sir Handel costs pretty much the same, and I'm not sure why this is the case. The back-to-back wheel gauging came in at 7.8mm after some tricky repeat measurements, which is slightly above the standard 7.4 to 7.6mm for N and 009 gauge. We'll see if that affects the running at all. Sir Handel then is looking pretty good on the outside, but the issues with the piston motion and cab design persist. My chief worry though is how this will perform on the track. Talaclin was a pain, so let's hope Sir Handel is a step up there, where it counts. After a little warming up, I began a proper test. It took some turning up of the controller for Sir Handel to go, but once he was going, he could be slowed down to a preferred speed. The speed control in reverse definitely seemed much better than in forwards motion, where the model has a habit of just shooting off. Let's see how Sir Handel does over some pico set track points. That was a bit of a better start. And that first passage was well done. On the second portion of the loop, oh dear, he's stalled. Let's give it a nudge and... oh, dead. Is there any grime on the tracks? No. Let's give it another go. That was better, but not a success. Okay, there's something about that point. Another go. Now there's an issue with the other point. I hate this pico set track. One more go. That was juddery, but just about a success. Sir Handel was fine over the level crossing and the baseball joins though, which were quick and simple tests. That performance, I think, was just about passable, and at least it's continuing to improve. My one remaining concern is about how well geared Sir Handel is for running at scale speeds, as he can seem to just shoot off when you get him going. To test that, I'm going to hand him over to my train racing driver. Some say that he tried to revive the satanic rituals at Kildane before the Fat Controller forbade it, and that he's been banned from the Arlesdale Railway for swapping the first L on the station sign for an S. All we know is he's called the Grunt. He's in Sir Handel's cab, but facing the wrong way. Maybe he is disgusted by the state of the interior. There's no controls again. And off Sir Handel goes like he's coupled up to a jet engine. He's already round onto the second straight, and at the other end of it. He rockets back round towards the transfer halt and is quickly across the line. Sir Handel covered that fifth of a scale mile in 15.63 seconds, which is a scale speed of 41.5 miles per hour. Interestingly enough, that is the exact same scale speed as the Rapido J13, and it's slightly faster than the Bachmann Taloclin. I suspect that's due to the weight being about 30% less, more than anything else, and the mechanisms are very similar, if not identical. So Sir Handel should have only been doing about 20 miles per hour at 50% on the controller, and the speed he was actually doing is what he should have been doing if it was turned up to 100%. So he is quite substantially overgeared. Still, at least in this instance, Bachmann haven't plastered on the box that it's geared for scale speed like they did with Taloclin. They neatly just chose not to mention it at all. Time to test the couplings, and I got coaches out for Sir Handel, but once again he's refusing to take those, and I quote, old cattle trucks. So he's got a small freight train instead. Some of my new flatbeds with a unique piece of cargo on them, and one of Bachmann's recent Blue Mountain quarry wagons, flanked by a brake van. That was nice and gentle. Off he shoots again, annoyingly, but didn't take. Let's try again. That was successful. And it's holding. Nice. And now let's send Sir Handel on his way with another shooting start. The lack of a crawl is very frustrating, so I'm going to have to investigate why that might be. Whether it's the engine or the layout, but hold on. Train's lost. There we go. That was a wagon dropping a coupling and wasn't Sir Handel's fault. But yes, anyway, as I was saying, I'll have to try him on a more appropriate layout to see whether the issues persist, so maybe we'll see... The same couplings have undone again. Hold on. Off they go again with a very efficient pickup of the train. Let's get on with a little summary then. On to my final verdict. Decoration. As with Taloclin and all the Bachmann Thomas narrow gauge engines, this is wonderfully decorated and looks perfect compared to the rest of the range. Lining, decals, undercoats, all look exquisite. Top marks for Sir Handel here. Details and features. There have been some improvements over previous models, with more separately fitted parts rather than a complete reliance on moulded details. Coupling hooks, brake pipes, whistles, lamps, and much more are included. This just makes it even more of a shame that the cab is still the way it is on the inside. On this model, seeing as it's part of a, well, toy franchise / range, I can let it slide a bit, but if Sir Handel arrives like this, that's a different matter. Taking the model I have in front of me in isolation as part of the Thomas range, it's fine and I'm happy with it for the most part. I'll give Sir Handel another point. Quality. As with other Bachmann Thomas narrow gauge engines, the die-cast body is a big plus here, as is the quality of the face and decoration application. The only gripe I still have is with those plastic piston rods. If Bachmann are going to go to the effort of making the rest of the rodding arrangement metal, why not that critical component? It just baffles me more than anything else. As tested, all appeared fine and operated as expected, so functionally I can't complain. Quality-wise, there's little else wrong, so overall, Sir Handel is deserving of another point. Performance. I must confess my assessment may be a tad unfair here. The Bachmann US website state that the Thomas narrow gauge engines perform best on N/009 third radius track or greater, and I've been testing Sir Handel on tight first radius curves and points. On the main curves and straights, he ran fine after some warming up. Point traversal was spotty, but again maybe down to the curvature more than the engine, I don't know. Couplings were fine, the issues were not to do with those attached to the engine. But my biggest disappointment here is the complete inability to crawl on most occasions. I had to turn the controller up to 40 or 50% just for any forwards motion to be achieved, and that was when Sir Handel just shot forward. I'll have a look at the innards to see if there's a reason for this, but the fact that this is how the model acts after running in doesn't impress me. I did go back and try and give him another run while editing, and there was some smoother, slower starting, but this just implied some more inconsistency. Sir Handel, as tested when I was filming, runs passably, but not well enough to please me as other engines have done. It might be harsh, but as of right now, I don't think he runs well enough or consistently enough to qualify for the performance points. On a more merciful layout with more gradual curves and points, mileage and my opinion may improve. And finally, onto price. For £124 and 5 pence, for me, Sir Handel falls into the same trap as the other Bachmann Thomas narrow gauge engines. He looks fantastic, is detailed well but not to what's expected for such a price. There is quality there, but it's not completely uniform throughout in terms of design and material choices, and the same is true with performance. All taken together, I don't think the model executes itself well enough across the board compared to the likes of the Bachmann Europe or Kato Pico 009 locos in terms of reliability, quality, detailing and value. If Sir Handel ran at least as well as the Bachmann Double Fairley or the Pico Small England, and had the same level of cab detail, then it would definitely be worth the money. As it stands, I don't think it is, and could benefit from being a bit cheaper. Only 5 to 10% or so, but but that probably equates to the cost of the licensing per unit, which is why it's as expensive as it is. Overall, that's a score of 3 out of 5, making this a model I can recommend with caveats. Sir Handel looks the part, but still has the same common shortcomings, and performance may vary. This will depend on your own type of narrow gauge layout. If you don't mind the nitpicks I've collated, and get one that runs better in forwards motion, you've nothing to worry about. So what do you think of Bachmann's Sir Handel model? I'd seen some high praise before mine arrived, but I think now that only really applies to the presentation of the outside of the engine. It's still great to have a model after all these years, and I'll have to try him on a more forgiving layout. So we'll see what I think of him in the future. Thanks for watching, and I'll be back very shortly with another video. December has become phenomenally busy. Until then, take care.